right. Welcome to League of Super Zeros podcast. Hey, diddly D, everybody. Introduce yourselves.
My name is Cyborg.
I'm HJ4521, but you know that by now.
And obviously, you know me as Batman.
It says the Batman.
The Batman, of course.
Let's go ahead and get started.
Let's get right into the news, brothers.
Okay, I didn't know we were drama alert.
Okay, so we're
Wait, what
starting
did you
with.
think I am?
I didn't know we were drama alert.
Oh, I was parodying Keemstar.
Yeah, we're starting. We're starting with X-Men and the MCU.
Okay. Alright. So, reason this one is on the board, brothers, is because the X-Men Fox franchise is dead. X-Men Dark Phoenix was the last in the franchise, and the whole X-Men series from Fox is now gone. So that would be Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, and everyone else. Yeah, James McAvoy, Professor X, Sophie Turner as Jean Grey, Jennifer Lawrence as Mystique, Michael Fassbender as Magneto. And the reason this is on there about the MCU is because we'll get to this point later, but Spider-Man Far From Home comes out in 2 days from now, and it is the last of Phase 3, I believe is what we're in. And it's kind of weird that Endgame wasn't Phase 3, but no, we're in Phase 4, I'm pretty sure. I don't know, let me check. Okay, no, we are in Phase 3, I was right. So Spider-Man Far From Home is the last in Phase 3, and the thing about this is it's kind of weird because like Endgame probably should have been the last in Phase 3, and I don't know why it is.
Yeah, it's because it's called Endgame for a reason.
Yeah, Spider-Man's probably just gonna have a lot of like place setting for the upcoming films, and hopefully eventually we'll get an X-Men. Probably not within like the upcoming phase, but maybe like 5 or 6, because they're definitely gonna keep this Marvel thing going as long as they can. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
You guys got any thoughts?
About the X-Men being in the MCU?
Yeah, like, what do you think? How do you think it's going to be done?
Easily though with Fox, like we easily had the best cast for it. Like everybody played their part well. But the problem is like when they went to First Class and everything, and they did the First Class universe, it was just like because you had First Class, you had Age of Apocalypse, and then you had Dark Phoenix, and it was just like, well, what happened from X1 all the way to Days of Future Past, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just like, did we just erase that? And the thing about the MCU is it's probably going to be hated. And the reason why I say that is because, um, mostly because Hugh Jackman will not be Wolverine.
So you think it's the star power that people aren't going to be?
Yeah, because that's who people know Wolverine as, you know. And I mean, the MCU never really had a problem with like actor changes, you know.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a difficult transition for most people to see, you know.
I feel like if they get like if they get everyone into if they cast actors who can play the roles as well as they have been pretty much since they made the MCU, as long as they get capable actors, I feel like they can keep it going for a while still.
Probably.
It's going to be difficult to replace some of the people like Michael Fassbender as Magneto and Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, but I feel like they could do it if they just get like good, I don't know, good actors.
Yeah.
I don't know who they would cast because I'm not a film crew caster. And I don't know many actors outside of like big famous ones. But
watch again like Robert Pattinson for Wolverine.
Yeah, something like that.
They'll find the right actors. I trust them.
They usually do.
Anything else?
I mean, how about here? Let's stay on this for a little bit. I want to ask: does anyone have any ideas on how they think they're going to introduce the X-Men into?
Yes,
You do.
I
How do you
think
think they're going to do it?
because Far From Home is introducing the multiverse, and I
Yeah.
think that means the 616 universe is going to be there, and I think that somehow
That would be
something's gonna
amazing, as if they had a crossover with the 616 universe, the comic universe.
yeah. Well, somehow I think that like there's going to be like you know something that happens, and then the X-Men gets transported to the MCU universe or the Ultimate Universe, if you will. You know, and then that's kind of how they get there. Same with the Fantastic Four. Like it's all about because we know that like they've talked about it even in the MCU a little bit about their multiverse, so we know it's out there and it exists. It's just they just need to show like the regular universe, then they have the Ultimate Universe, which is the MCU. Then they have
Well,
616.
they're not the same thing. The Ultimate Universe isn't the MCU. The MCU is based off the Ultimate Universe
Yeah,
because it is their own series of comics.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. It was like Marvel's New 52.
Yeah.
And then I'm hoping that they could just play it off, and we'll go into this later about how I think they're going to introduce the Fantastic Four into the movies. But the easiest way with X-Men is probably going to be something with the multiverse, like you said, Batman.
Well, because I think the reason why with the multiverse, that's going to bring in the next big villain of the MCU.
Who do you think that's going to be?
Supposedly, it's going to be Maestro. I don't know
What?
why it would be.
That's
Yeah,
absurd.
that's rumored. I was hoping it'd be Galactus. If it is Galactus, because Galactus would make more sense, you know.
Yeah.
He's like destruction, the end of times, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be the perfect way to end off the MCU, like Avengers the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just have one big fight with Galactus.
I don't know. It's there's a lot of villain. We're getting off topic. So,
Yeah.
there's a lot of villains. I don't know who. There's a lot that would be interesting. There's a lot that are a lot weirder that they would do, like Maestro, the Incredible Hulk villain. It's Hulk, but smarter and from 100 years in the future. Yeah, it's weird. It's from the. I'm pretty sure he's from the Old Man Logan universe in the comics.
Did you hear in the re-release of Endgame that they're going
Yeah,
to
with an end credit
have
scene.
an end credit scene with the Hulk and like tease World War Hulk or some crap like that?
That could be interesting. I don't know.
It.
And then
They need everybody though.
yeah. So I definitely think the easiest way to do the X-Men would be to do some like multiverse hopping adventure, or even like a reboot, like a soft reboot where like everything stays the same. Maybe they exchange some actors, which is kind of what I feel like they should have done for Endgame, is just do a soft reboot of the franchise with all the new actors playing the characters, and basically have it like have none of the characters react, because as far as they know, it's been this way the whole time. It's similar to like, I think it's kind of weird. So Avengers Endgame, 5 years pass between it and Infinity War. But when Tony Stark snaps Thanos' army out of existence and the Hulk brings everyone back,
Mm-hmm.
it's still 5 years later. They're not in 2018, they're in 2023. So everyone who is aged those 5 years is going to be 5 years older. And specifically, the thing that weirds me out about this is Peter going back to school, right?
Mm-hmm.
So unless his friend Ned was also snapped out of existence, which he would have to be for how it looks like it, because everyone who was snapped back came back at their same age. It's not like they got 5 years older.
Time loop.
Time loop.
Well, what I saw from Endgame, it looked like Peter was snapped, but not his friend.
Yeah, but that's what I don't get. His friend should be like 5 years older then.
Yeah, and also graduated. Like they
Yeah,
shouldn't be at school
my-
anymore.
Yeah, half of the people at Peter's school are graduated now. Like he
It's like,
doesn't know like half of the people.
what? Yeah, like it shouldn't work. It's stupid. But anyway,
going back to the X-Men thing, like I feel like Endgame, because at the end of Endgame, I mean, Noah and I had this whole long conversation about the plot hole in that with like the timelines. Anyways, I'm not gonna get into that in this podcast because that make it
Yeah.
a really long podcast. But anyways, with the new timeline created, they could have accidentally created the X-Men and the Fantastic Four. That'd be one way to explain it.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just
It's
hoping
the one that
they
makes the
make.
most sense.
Yeah. I'm just hoping that they focus more on the school aspect of the X-Men and the X-Men as like a family, pretty much, because that's pretty much what they are. Just a bunch of friends living in the boarding house, pretty much closest family members.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, the Doom Patrol.
Yeah, pretty much Doom Patrol. What was Doom Patrol based on the X-Men, or was X-Men based on Doom Patrol?
I think X-Men was based on Doom Patrol.
One of them came first, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how they'll do it. I just hope that they don't screw it up.
Yeah.
No, they'll do good.
Yeah.
No matter
They're
what.
Marvel.
They'll find
Next
out a way
topic.
unless they completely flub it.
Unless they do like a solo movie, then I mean,
Mm-hmm.
That's on the wheel of topics. We'll
Alright.
get to that
Let's go.
later on.
later on.
Let's see. Fantastic Four in the MCU.
Okay. This one I am more in so the way I'm hoping that they introduce the Fantastic Four into the MCU, the easiest way, I don't think reality hopping would be the best here because of
No.
like the Fantastic Four aren't as big as the X-Men do. They don't have as much of an influence. So I feel like if you just play it off as they either have not gone into space yet or they have gone into space but are in hiding, I feel like that would work.
Mm-hmm.
Or I mean, what would make a little bit of sense is like let's say during the events of Infinity War and Endgame,
Mhm.
Reed Richards receives a mystery transmission to Earth or from Earth and says to like I don't know Sue Storm like, "Hey, uh, Tony's contacting us. What
Like
do we
while they're
do?"
in space. While
Yeah,
they're in
like
space.
during the events of Infinity War,
Yeah.
right? And let's just say like, because that'd be one way to do it. But the problem with this would be like then it had to explain what they were doing during Infinity War, what they were doing during Endgame.
Yeah,
I mean
that's
that'd
why
be
I
one way to
feel
do it. Like Reed Richards receives a transmission, and it's from like Spider-Man or something.
Mhm.
Because in Homecoming they sold Avengers Tower to an unknown buyer,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. So it could have been like
Fantastic
the
Four has
Baxter
the
building.
tower. Yeah.
Yeah. So they could also do it like I'm talking about the style of movie of how they would introduce it. Just skip the origin story, right?
Yeah.
At this point, or just it's not as well known as like say Batman or Spider-Man's origin story, but you could just like give it a quick few lines in the movie as a rundown, like, "Hey, we went into space to test an experimental space plane, whatever, but it was unfinished and the shielding didn't work out, so we were bombarded with solar radiation that gave us these cool powers." That's it. Like that's not a complicated backstory, and their dynamic is there already. Like you have Reed, who's the smart, sophisticated, usually the calm one. You have Ben, who is the rough and tough, big heart, rough and tough guy with a big heart. You have Sue Storm,
The Invisible
pretty
Woman.
much the invisible woman with who keeps the family together. And then you have Johnny Storm, who is the hot-headed one who gets into a bunch of fights. So the dynamic is there. And if they just do it like they did Spider-Man Homecoming, where they just play it off, I need to stop saying that, but they just have the Fantastic Four be already established or something.
Yeah.
And then they just do a movie like Spider-Man Homecoming. They didn't show you his origin story. They just showed you him being Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Anything
which
to
was
add?
a good idea.
Yeah, it was a good idea because we've seen Spider-Man's origin story twice already.
Well, then again, I mean, we don't even know if Uncle Ben exists in the MCU, to be honest.
He does though. Like there's so in the trailer for Spider-Man Far From Home, when Peter's packing his clothes, the suitcase he puts his clothes in, it's Benjamin something Parker. So it's his uncle's suitcase that he's using.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
you'll
was
see.
about to say because, like,
What?
I was about to say because you can't have like, especially like even if you don't mention like show his origin story, it's like Batman, right? In a Batman movie, you can't go the entire movie without mentioning Thomas and Martha Wayne,
Yeah,
right?
like you
Same
don't have
thing
to
goes for
show us
Spider-Man.
them getting killed in Crime Alley, but you have to mention them.
Yeah, it's like same with Spider-Man because that was Spider-Man's definitive origin story. He gets bit by a radioactive spider. Uncle Ben dies, and then he swears to oh, I'm
He
gonna
will take
like
responsibility for his actions. That's his whole thing.
yeah,
Great power comes great responsibility.
yeah.
Mhm.
So that's
Which I'm
basically
pretty sure that was a movie line first, and then the comics just adapted it into his backstory.
that's pretty much
Yeah,
what happened.
it's a good idea.
It was, yeah, for the most part, implementing movie stuff into the comics. That's why comic book sales right now are the highest it's been in 20 years.
Okay. Anything else?
No,
Nothing for me. Next one.
Okay. Yeah, next one.
Good thing.
And what is it gonna land on? I see the wheel spinning.
Fucking Spider-Man hype. Just go with that.
Spider-Man hype. All right, guys. Predictions. You know
Really?
Mysterio's a bad guy, right, Wolf?
No shit.
Okay. You know Mysterio's a bad guy, right, Nolan?
obviously.
Batman? Yeah. So, how is it that the rest of the public doesn't know Mysterio's a bad guy?
Even though it's been stated in every Spider-Man the animated series ever,
He has,
every
pretty
Well,
much.
Spider-Man comic ever.
I think
Because, go on.
it's just because like I think not a lot of people know about like the older Spider-Man stuff most of the time. So when they see a new trailer, it's like just they think, oh, this is just a random character that we've never
I'm
heard
looking
of
up the
before.
Google Trends data for Mysterio.
Yeah,
I
but
wanna
like
see.
they have no like the general public will be like, oh, what's this new character? He wants to help Spider-Man defeat something.
Oh yeah, look at that. January 6th to January 26th. It spikes absurdly. I wonder when the first Spider-Man trailer came out.
January.
Probably. But so he acts like a good guy in the trailer. Spider-Man like makes him in Avengers. It makes him an Avenger, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I don't see Spider-Man as an Avenger yet. I think they need to let him like grow older because as it is now, he's like 16 or 17,
He's
something
around our
like that. What?
He's around our age.
Yeah, he's around our age.
Yeah.
The
And
thing
I
is,
go on.
the thing is because they show all these different suits and stuff, but to me, the Avengers, right? When I think of the Avengers, I think Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, Hulk, Black Widow, Hawkeye, all of them. But I mean, to be brutally honest, Spider-Man isn't really your common Avenger. He's just more or less there. They just don't call him an Avenger,
Yeah. Yeah. This yeah, it's about right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm most excited. They can't do this anymore since two of the characters are gone, one is dead and one is old. But I would really like to see a new Avengers movie, like including Spider-Man because he's one of the like beginning members. So it includes Luke Cage, Captain America, Iron Man, Spider-Man, Wonder Woman, or not Wonder Woman, Spider Woman. Yeah, Spider Woman, Sentry, and Ronin. They have everyone there, except, well, they could have everyone there except for Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
It's just weird. It's a cool comic, and I don't know. I've reread it a few times. It's definitely there. But back to the movie. Mysterio is a bad guy, even though he's been in like he was in the original Sinister Six group of baddies back in the 1960s.
Yeah.
He's still part of the
It's
Sinister Six, I believe. It's been a
yeah,
while since I've read Spider-Man, so I don't know.
yeah. I'm
I just think the
Go on.
reason why what is it? So many people might think that Mysterio isn't a bad guy and might not know it is because it's general public now. No one's really read the comics except for the hardcore fans, which there aren't a lot anymore. It's just all
Can I? Yeah.
like film people who like to go see the movies who haven't seen the source material most of the time. It's just how it is. So they don't know what each character is and who they are, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's how
Can
it
I
is with
say?
most things.
Yeah.
That's a different topic for a different podcast, but like
The
I
general
know.
public's awareness of comic book material.
Well, no, like the general public's awareness of like, because even like, let's say like you're a Marvel, like you've only watched like superhero movies from Marvel side. Then you go to like DC side, and like, because I know there are some people that have never heard of Batman, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that just absolutely blows my mind because he's more than just a comic book character. Especially like Spider-Man. Spider-Man's more than just a comic book character too, because people actually aspire to them, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and use them as symbols, right? So like it's because it's like the most common superheroes that do that, like Superman, Batman, Spider-Man.
Those
Even
are the
some.
three most common superheroes. Although, at this point in the public consciousness, I would willing to be put forth an argument that Iron Man is becoming more popular than Superman, perhaps even Spider Man, just because he is.
Maybe in popularity, but not well known. It's like well known
Yeah, you're probably right actually, because in the U.S. at least, Iron Man's more popular, but I don't know about overseas.
I guarantee I could walk up to any person in any country. I could hold up a Superman and Batman symbol, they would know who they are. Even if you've never read it, you would know who they are. You know, it's
Yeah.
just that's how it is. I could hold up a Spider-Man symbol, somebody would know who it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, back to the movie. I mean, it looks like they're doing pretty good with the multiverse. Like they showed Spider-Man Nord, obviously the Iron Spider, the Miles Morales suit. I wonder if we're gonna get Spider Gwen. That's gonna be weird.
Mm.
That would be really weird. I agree.
Because then you could have like an Into the Spider Verse type thing, or Spider Verse type, or Was it Spider Island or whatever?
It was Spider Island, where the Jackal gives New York everyone in New York spider powers, but
Yeah, you
eventually it
could do
turns them
that.
all into giant spiders.
Yeah, you could have the Spider family fight giant spiders. If you will.
What I would like is so let me just say so Spider-Man Homecoming has two of the original Sinister Six members in it. Although I don't know if one of them's original. One might be a late joiner. But it has
Ultimate.
Vulture and it has Scorpion in it. Scorpion's in the end credit scene, sure, but he's in it. Now, this next movie will have Mysterio, and what I'm hoping is that they tease another villain at the end, and then Spider-Man 3 can be a Sinister Six movie.
Or they buy Venom and just have him fight them.
Venom
Because I mean,
has been in the he has been in the Sinister Six, so you could still do Sinister Six with Venom.
Mm.
well, to me, like when to finish, if you're gonna do a Spider-Man trilogy, you can have like obviously set up the Sinister Six, the first movie, next movie Sinister Six, then the third movie he should either fight Carnage, Venom, or Toxin. Someone that is going to be able to take down Spider-Man with ease. And someone that he has to actually struggle to fight.
Sure.
Like with Batman versus Superman, they could not take down Doomsday for the what?
Without Superman or Batman or Wonder Woman, without any of them, because each one played a crucial role.
Yeah. So like the superheroes, because I was talking to my mom about this, right? And this is because in her mind, she's like superheroes always win, right?
They don't.
They don't. And I
Or
try to
well, they do, but sometimes it comes at a cost, and the only
yeah,
times they don't is if it's either a what if or an alternate universe.
right. But even on like movies, I feel like people need to start being exposed to where like the superhero needs to start losing because it makes for a more interesting story. You know,
It gives them an obstacle in their path to like climb
it
over.
gives them
And
humanity.
what?
It gives them humanity. You can't just have superheroes walking around like gods, like, oh, we can beat everybody. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. They need to be
and that was the
grounded.
thing with the Avengers. It shocked the world with Infinity War because they're like, wait, the Avengers can be beaten? Yeah, they can. They get
Yeah,
destroyed every day in the comic.
there's out of all the Avengers, there are like what? How many with like actual superheroes that or superpowers that they like
Not
were
many.
born with, that they inherited? Like none of them had, except okay. So the core six, you got Captain America. He wasn't born with the superpowers, and technically they're not superpowers. He's just at his peak physical condition. Like
Yeah.
he's the best human that there could be feasibly.
So he's still
Yeah,
human.
yeah,
No
he
matter
is
what
still
people
human.
say, he does not have powers.
Yeah,
No matter what.
and you have Black Widow and Hawkeye, who are just normal super spies. One uses a bow, one uses spy equipment.
Mhm.
Then you have Iron Man, who has a super suit that can be destroyed and can be broken, as we see quite often.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you have the Incredible Hulk, who can also be beaten, and he also wasn't born with those powers. He got them from a gamma bomb test.
Mhm.
And
Well,
that
the Hulk is something different, though. I mean, the Hulk is like he
yes,
can be a brick wall if he wants to. You know,
yeah,
if he
but he
gets
was
that.
beaten by the one character who was born with superpowers. Thor is like the only person who inherited powers. He didn't like gain them through some weird means. He just had them from the beginning.
Yeah, he's the most powerful Avenger.
But
Exactly.
I guess yeah, he was, but I'm not sure on his backstory fully. But isn't most of his manipulation through Mjolnir? Like,
Yeah.
He is the god of, it's weird. He's the god of thunder, but like in
Until he becomes
brackets
a
next to
demon.
that it's lightning. He's the god of lightning mostly, but it's just called the god of thunder.
mhm.
Because if he was the god of thunder, he would just be making loud crashes all the time. That's it. But he has the power inside of him. It's like it's explained in Thor Ragnarok that Mjolnir was just like a tool for him to wield the power through. Like he is able to like channel lightning and the power of a god
Mhm.
just like through himself when he fights Hela,
I
goddess of
mean,
death.
they're pretty much making him into Rune King Thor now.
Into who?
In the Rune King.
I guess.
I mean, if you think about it, he has Stormbreaker, Mjolnir, and he's probably going to have the Odin
Yeah,
Force because the King
yeah,
of
you're right.
Asgard.
He can also wield the Bifrost.
Yeah.
That was kind of
So
weird. That wasn't an Endgame at all. Apparently, they forgot about that. That Thor had the power of the Bifrost all along.
see, that would have been cool. Like
Yeah,
summon the Bifrost to fight Thanos.
yeah. Just Bifrost right in front of Thanos, chop his head off. There you go.
Mhm.
There you
I
go.
mean, they did, but like that didn't work because he'd already destroyed the stones. But
Yep.
back to Spider-Man: Far From Home. Let's bring it back around. I uh, I want to see them. So I've heard it's better than Homecoming so far from some reviews I've read and watched. Is that it's a lot better than Homecoming? The villains are better, the effects are better, and in general, the movie itself is just all around better. He gets like a what I really like are the suits. So he starts off with the Iron Spider suit from Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame.
Mhm.
And then like he doesn't take it on his trip to like his trip to Europe through like around Europe. So when like Nick Fury calls him up to be like, hey, there's this dude here from another universe, Mysterio, who needs your help to take down 4 supervillains from his universe that came to ours. Spider-Man's like, but I don't have a suit. And then Happy Hogan has a jet that Tony Stark gave to him that had like suit making stuff for Spider-Man. So Spider-Man makes a suit that's pretty much the superior Spider-Man suit, which is cool. I really like that because that's my favorite Spider-Man suit design.
Mhm.
And he also makes the Spider-Man Noir suit pretty much. It's also a cool design, but not up there.
I just like the noir suits a lot, especially like Spider-Man Noir is that's a pretty awesome suit. Like even Batman Noir is freaking dope, right? So all the noir suits are really cool to me for like every superhero.
Well, you're a Batman fan, so of course you like the all black, right?
It's actually yeah, okay, yeah. Anyways, yes, the noir suits are awesome. I mean the superior Spider-Man suit was the black and red one, right?
Yes, it's the black and red one.
Okay, because I keep thinking that's Miles Morales.
No, his is the black, red, and white one.
Okay. Yeah, no, the superior Spider-Man suit looks cool too.
Yeah.
Anything
And
else?
then
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess that's really it. I'm just really hyped for the movie, and I just really want it to be good because I wasn't that big a fan of Homecoming. Like I liked it, but it's not very rewatchable in the same way that I think like Avengers: Infinity War and Endgame are rewatchable,
Mm-hmm.
or that like the original Iron Man is rewatchable.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just want it to have a lot of substance there and not just be like a one-time popcorn movie like Captain Marvel or Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh God.
Next topic. I think there's 2 left.
Yeah. Let's just go with solo and team superhero movies first.
So this kind of ties right back into what we are just saying. So rewatchability. The 2 movies I mentioned as like my least favorites, I guess, or just least rewatchable, are Captain Marvel and Ant-Man and the Wasp, both of which are solo movies. Captain Marvel, I think, is just really bland and boring. If you rewatch the movie, all the characters like so the biggest thing is Carol Danvers like starts off the movie being perfect and finishes it off being perfect, and it's just I for me to get invested into a superhero, they have to overcome something, like Batman said, and there has to be like an obstacle put in their way that they can't overcome by traditional means. They just need to find a new angle on it, basically. So, like Spider-Man and Venom, Venom could easily take down Spider-Man, so Spider-Man has to find a way to fight him. But Captain Marvel, she doesn't really like gain anything or any insights.
Wait, can we just rephrase that? Venom has taken down Spider-Man easily.
Okay, yeah, he has taken down, but not MCU Spider-Man.
Oh no, MCU Spider-Man's not different.
Feasibly, they could incorporate Venom into the MCU because all his stuff takes place in San Francisco, and
Yeah.
none of it really like impacts would impact the MCU. Plus, like, what's funny is it's almost like Sony is trying to set up for like an acquisition by Marvel or Disney, I should say, because or at least the rights to the Spider-Man character and all his villains, because in Venom they find aliens. Like aliens existing is a thing that happens, right? But it's played off as like nothing, even though in this universe this is the first time they've ever come into contact with extraterrestrial life. It should be a bigger thing. But I think Venom could easily be incorporated into the MCU just because nothing in his movie really affects the grander scale of it. It could just be like a small scale story about a guy being chased through San Francisco with a parasite that helps him, or symbiote that helps him, I should say, and he fights against an evil corporation. That's a very generic plot, The movie itself is fine. It's an average movie, very average.
Mm-hmm.
I think the problem with most like especially like, with Marvel and DC, there's noticed like if you've been watching like the MCU from the beginning, uh, you know that before the first Avengers movie, Marvel was only doing solo movies, right? Then Avengers 1 came out, and yeah, Avengers 1, I say, is my favorite Avengers movie because it is. Don't judge me. But it's my favorite Avengers movie. But then you get like, then you go on, you go to like all the other solo movies, and then Age of Ultron. Age of Ultron wasn't that great, right? So obviously they didn't know what they were doing a little bit there. But if you've been watching the MCU for a while, you can kind of see, and I don't, you guys can disagree with me on this, but the solo movies degrading in quality a little bit. Like Iron Man 1 was amazing, right? Iron Man
Yeah,
2 was amazing. Iron Man 3 was okay. You know,
yeah.
Captain America 1 was okay, but Captain America increased, then
It got
decreased.
better as the movies got on.
Yeah. And then, I mean, Spider-Man, I've, to be
I
honest with
hope it
you, I've never
increases.
seen Homecoming. So Far From Home is probably going to be good.
Wait, you
But
haven't seen Homecoming?
no, I've never seen Homecoming.
Oh, you want to watch
No.
it after this?
I
Uh,
might, but Ant-Man was
Okay.
good, and then Ant-Man and the Wasp was eh. Captain Marvel kind of sucked. But then, like, if you go on the DC side of things, it's kind of opposite. Like their solo movies are amazing. You know, their team movies, not that great compared to their solo movies. Opposite with Marvel, their solo movies are good, but their team movies are better. You know, it's kind of weird how that works.
mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, unless we're talking about like Venom and Joker and all of the out of DC, EU, and MCU movies.
I think that the DC movies, their solo movies, are better than Marvel's solo movies, but their team movies are worse than Marvel's team up movies. It's like a weird dichotomy between the two.
Yeah, it's
Because
like Marvel
Shazam
makes
is
good
amazing,
team movies.
Wonder Woman is amazing, and Aquaman is amazing, but Batman v Superman is fine, slightly above average, I'd say. Justice League is pretty eh. It's like average, and Suicide Squad is just okay. It's not very good, I don't think.
Hmm.
But you might have a different opinion on this Batman. But
I mean,
yeah,
obviously with my central thing, I'm kind of a little bit more biased, but
yeah,
just a little bit.
yeah. It's okay. It's fun. But then, yeah,
Hey, you can like best of both worlds. Don't
yeah,
let
you
anybody.
can. You totally can. Anything else? Anything to add, Wolf?
Not really, no. Last
What's the
thing,
last one?
it was
Oh,
the
the.
new era of Marble.
All right, so let's go through the new films that are announced. I'm gonna read them off. You guys are gonna tell me your thoughts. All right.
Okay.
Black Widow, around 2020, is a prequel to the Super Spy, and the villain is rumored to be Taskmaster, an old Avengers villain who was in Spider-Man the video game for PS4.
Okay. You can go first.
No, you can go. I sorry.
Okay. Number one, how does Black Widow come back from the dead? And number
It's
two,
a
Black Widow
prequel
will
movie.
never be
It's a
able to
prequel movie. It takes place before Endgame. It's probably going to take place in like the 90s or early 2000s before any superheroes were around.
And number two, give Black Widow a villain she can actually beat. She can't beat Taskmaster.
Feasibly, she can't beat Taskmaster. She's a normal.
I mean, Captain America can barely beat Taskmaster.
It's only because Captain America has the pretty much super stamina, can do it all day. Taskmaster can't.
Well, he can also copy moves, but
Yeah,
that's
he
not
can
it.
copy moves, but it's not like he can fight forever.
That's
Like,
true.
Well, I guess he kind of is. He's similar to Captain America in terms of his combat prowess.
Yeah, he's like mastered a lot of fighting styles.
Mm-hmm. What are your
Or at
thoughts,
least
Wolf?
never go against the hand.
So it's a movie on Black Widow. Is that what it
Yeah,
is?
it's a Black Widow solo movie.
Okay, that sounds like it could be good to at least. I guess for people who don't know where Black Widow came from, it's a good thing to establish her story. You know where, what she or how she came to probably be part of the Avengers and all that. You know,
Yeah.
and it's good to establish her character rather than just her being in the Avengers with nothing there. It's just she's here. Cool. Isn't that neat? You know, it's cool to at least have something to explain.
Okay.
I
Next
also
up.
like I just want to add this real quick. Like I feel like they should have done that before she died.
Yeah, it's
Probably.
weird. It's a weird thing. Next up is the Eternals, coming next year. It doesn't really know who's starring in it, but so Wolf, you probably don't know anything about the Eternals,
Nope.
and neither does most of the rest of the general public. But so you know Thanos,
Yeah.
he's part of the Eternal race. Like he is an Eternal.
Hmm.
They're just like super powerful guys who are basically like demigods who used to live on Titan.
Oh, wait. So Thanos is one?
He is one, yes.
Oh, okay.
There are more of them left around. Like there are more Eternals in the Marvel universe, but like we don't know anything about it
Right.
because it's 2020.
Well, we'll
Batman.
have to see.
Batman, your thoughts on the Eternals?
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I I'm not familiar with the Eternals. I don't, you know. I mean, I know Thanos is an Eternal. I think Ronan the Accuser is an Eternal.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's like all the, I mean, I just know they're powerful characters. I know because my dad is really the one who's the Marvel guy. Yeah, so I mean, he tells me about the Eternals, and obviously I've read Marvel and I've watched Marvel. I know
All right.
a lot, but
Next movie that I don't think any of us have any idea or thoughts on, Shang-Chi, coming 2021. And from the look of the character, it looks like he is a ninja who has energy-based superpowers.
Hmm.
I don't know anything about Shang-Chi. I've never read his comics. I haven't heard of him before this, which is really weird considering. Have you heard of him, Batman?
no.
Shang-Chi? Yeah, neither of us have heard of him, and we're pretty deep into comics as is. So
Can
I don't know why they are making a movie of him.
in Phase 4?
What?
Can I add a movie that's coming out in Phase 4?
What do you want?
Captain Britain in the in the Dark Knight.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That'll be interesting. Captain Britain, because we wanted a Captain Britain movie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna love to see how they make that costume not tacky.
I honestly kind of want to see a Captain Britain movie. So, Wolf, if you're wondering,
Actually, if they
Captain
do like
Britain-
how Captain Britain is supposed to be a multiverse hopping superhero, that could be fun.
yeah,
Go to
isn't he
different
basically like
universes.
Superman or something like that?
Is he what?
Isn't he like basically like a mix of Superman and Captain America?
Pretty much. Like he has the powers of Superman. Well, except for like the laser vision and some of the more exotic Superman powers. Like he has, I'm pretty sure super strength. I know he can fly. Excuse me. I know he can fly. I think he has some kind of special gun he uses, but that's it.
I don't know. I don't know much about Captain Britain.
Next up, Black Panther 2. Makes sense.
Yep.
First one made a lot of money. First one was pretty good. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Any thoughts?
It's good to follow up his story. A lot of people like the first one, so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Next up is probably the one I'm most excited for in Phase 4. It's Doctor Strange 2.
Ooh.
That's gonna be
That could be good.
yeah, it's gonna be really cool.
I'm excited for that
I'm
one.
really excited.
Yeah, that might be
I
good.
think they'll be the Masters of Evil.
Masters of Evil, they could. But I'm just excited because he's gonna be doing like more than just the orange line magic. Like in Infinity War and Endgame, he was doing actual magic, like changing reality and manipulating it. Like he stood one on one with Thanos with 4 stones. He like didn't die
Hmm.
because he had magic. And I don't know, it's gonna be cool seeing him like do more magic. I'm just hoping they get really creative with it. I don't know who the villain is. Um, it's probably gonna be Mordo actually. Like he was
Probably.
teased in the first Doctor Strange movie.
Hmm.
Any thoughts?
It's cool to it'd be cool to see more on Doctor Strange. Especially because the first movie did good. Yeah, the first movie was good, so it would be cool to at least have more than just like slap him into Endgame and be like, or Endgame and what is it,
Thor
Infinity War,
Ragnarok.
and yeah, that, and just be like, here you go, here's sort of what you asked for, not really,
Mhm.
but yeah, having a second movie and continuing that should be cool.
Okay. And the last one that is on the slate is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I'm
Ah.
excited. James Gunn got rehired. He's going to be shooting it after he finishes the Suicide Squad reboot movie.
Oof.
It's just going to be. I'm pretty sure they're probably just going to kill off the Suicide Squad characters and replace them with new ones. They're
No,
keeping like
Margot
Deadshot and
Robbie.
Harley Quinn, but that's it.
Yeah, and Katana, I believe, and the
Yeah.
dude who played Rick Flag.
Yeah. Dude, you know who they should have in the new Suicide Squad?
King Shark.
Daniel West. But yeah, also King Shark.
Yeah, Daniel West, that would be cool.
I know,
Honestly,
right?
if they introduce the West family and then Lonely
They
West.
well, they were going to in Justice League, but it was a deleted scene. Like the Flash had 3 deleted scenes. One where he saved Iris West with his superpowers, one where he found out about his superpowers at his school, and the last one where he was like, it's a flashback and he was struck by lightning.
I mean, Suicide Squad is like my second favorite superhero team, so I'm very excited for that movie.
Yeah, it'll be cool. All right. Is that all we have on this topic?
Guessing so.
All right. So last part of the podcast, recommendations. Gentlemen, anything to recommend? Anything cool?
Not really. Steam Summer Sale. I can just say
Steam
that.
Summer Sale.
Steam
Yeah,
Summer
Steam
Sale.
Summer Sale.
Steam Summer
Go
Sale.
buy a
What's
bunch
going
of
on?
games for
Go waste a shit ton of
they're
money.
cheap.
You can get like 80 games for like what, like
$50.
$200?
Oh, 200.
$200 you can get like a shit ton of games, like a
Yeah.
lot. You can buy the whole Borderlands collection, so everything, so all the games and all the DLCs for $6.
You
May I
can
just
buy all
say?
the Crisis games for $11. You can buy Portal 1 and 2 for $3.
Yeah, you can buy the whole Valve collection. It's like 97% off or something. It's like
Yeah.
$6, and it's like what, like 12 games or some shit.
Yeah.
So you can get that.
I'm gonna recommend the Crisis game. Speaking of, I played through Crisis 1, never have before. Amazing game, fun game. The nanosuit mechanics are really cool. Can it run Crisis is not really a question anymore, considering most like decent computers these days can run Crisis. Like even Crisis on max settings, still a little intensive on my systems. Like I don't have the best gaming PC at all. I use a laptop. It's not the best for gaming, but it can play pretty much anything on the market right now.
Mhm.
Even it had trouble running Crisis. Well, on Crisis on max settings, I had to tune it down to high instead of very high, but it worked. And it's really fun. The gunplay is interesting. because it's a lot more realistic. So the shotguns are only like viable at close range. The SMGs have absurd damage fall off, where they're like pellets bounce. They're like BB pellets at like anything beyond mid range,
Mm-hmm.
and everything has pretty absurd recoil unless you're using like a strength mod on the nano suit that you wear in the game. It's definitely worth the like $11 it is right now for all three of the Crisis games.
Right.
Nolan, Batman,
Okay.
anything to recommend?
I should have done this the first episode or any previous episodes, but I'm gonna recommend New 52 Batman. Um, Easily my favorite comic book run of all time. You know, Scott Snyder is an amazing writer. It's really, if you're gonna read it though, prepare yourself. It's very dark, but it's very good. The first volume is The Court of Owls, which is probably my favorite story out of the entire thing. Then you go into from there, you go into the 0 Year, then Death of the Family, then Endgame, then Bloom Saga, and then obviously the end of the New 52.
Avengers Endgame is in Batman? What?
Yes, Batman fights Thanos.
Wow.
I, as a common public person. Okay,
No, Batman did Endgame first.
Batman did Endgame first. That's right.
Of course.
But no, yeah, no, the Bloom Saga was I thought was really cool. I just didn't like Jim Gordon as Batman. That's all.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Is that all we have? I think
I
that's it.
think that's it for tonight.
All right.
Boys, we closing it out.
Yeah.
All right.
Swap over to general.
Well, if my mic settings would work, are they working? Let's hope so. All right. So thanks for stopping by. You guys have a good night. I'm gonna send you over to someone real quick. See who we got. Wow, there's not. Huh. Oh, okay. I'm gonna send you over to my friend Emu, real quick. All right. Here we go. All right. You guys have a good night, and thanks for joining the podcast.